Okay, boys and girls, this is Math Message 1-6, and in today's math lesson, we are going to be working on telling and writing time to the nearest 5 minutes and using a number line to find elapsed time. Okay, so in your workbook on page 10, we have a problem that I want you to work on. So if you need to pause the video and get your workbook ready. If you don't have your workbook, that's okay. I think this problem will be easy enough that you could do it just on scrap paper. Okay, so if you're ready to go, it says Sheena's math class began at 9:55 a.m. and ended at 11:10 a.m. She started to figure out how long the class lasted. She used a number line. So as you can see, you see this number line here that Sheena used. It says use Sheena's number line to complete the problem. Tell the length of time in hours and minutes. So let's figure out how long math class started. Now I told you that when we're figuring out elapsed time, we talked yesterday how we can use an open number line. It's a very simple way to kind of show your thinking and jump through time. We always have the beginning time down here. We have the ending time. And then we do that elapsed time, or that time in between. And we don't have to jump in one big jump. We can make several jumps along the way, depending on how our brain needs to think about that. So let's look at what Sheena did. She started at 9:55 because that's when her math class begins, and she wrote 11:10 down here because that's when math class ended. And then let's look at what Sheena did. First, she jumped 5 minutes. Any guess why she jumped 5 minutes? Jumping 5 minutes gets her to that nice, easy time of 10 o'clock. Now remember, I talked about how we're going to put our jumps of time up top of our number line, and we will put the time we land down below. So first she jumped 5 minutes so that she could get to 10 o'clock. That made it a really nice, easy time. From there, she jumped 1 hour, and that got her to 11 o'clock. And then she needed to get to 11:10, so she was already at the right hour. She needed to jump 10 more minutes and get to 11:10. So now what Sheena needs to do is count up her total elapsed time. I like to add all of my hours first, and you can see there's just 1 hour there. And then we can add the minutes. She's got 10 minutes plus 5 minutes. So altogether, she has 15 minutes. So class lasted 1 hour and 15 minutes. Now that's all that we have to do in our workbook. However, if you were in math class, we will be doing lots of these problems together. So I want you to practice along with me right now and do a few more problems. So you're going to need some just blank paper or a dry erase board if you have one at home. So pause the video and get yourself ready. All right, now just draw a simple number line. And let's try a couple of problems together. All right, this year I know that when boys and girls walk into the classroom, it is 8:50 in the morning when they start, or not 8:50, what time do we walk in the classroom? I think we walk in the classroom at 8:35 in the morning. So put 8:35 at your beginning time. And I know that we go to recess at 11:15. So let's figure out how long is it from the time we get to school until the time that we go to recess. So I want you to go ahead and pause the video and see if you can come up with some good jumps to figure out your elapsed time. Okay, now remember, there's many different ways that you could do this. So if my way is just a little bit different than your way, that's okay as long as we end up with the same answer at the end. I'm going to go ahead and jump 5 minutes and get to 8:40. And then, let's see here, I know I need to get clear to that 11 o'clock hour. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump 20 minutes because that gets me to an easy 9 o'clock. 40 plus 20 is 60, so that means it'll turn to the next o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and jump 2 hours because I know from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And now I just need to get to 11:15, so I'm going to jump 15 more minutes. Now I'm going to add up all of my hours first. So I had 2 hours, and then I jumped 5 minutes plus 20 minutes plus 15 minutes. So when I add all of those up, 20, 30, 35, and 40. So 2 hours and 40 minutes. And of course, you can add those up any way that you need to add them up. Now, some of you may have done it a little differently. I'll go ahead and do it one more way. Here's 8:35 and get to 11:15. Now, we had talked about those benchmark times, that 15, 30, 45, and o'clock. So maybe I just jumped 10 minutes to get me to 8:45. And then I know I need to jump 15 minutes to get to 9 o'clock. And then maybe my brain says, oh, well, 9 o'clock to 11:15, that's just 2 hours and 15 minutes. Or you could jump the 2 hours first and get to 11 o'clock and then jump the 15 minutes. And then I'm going to add them all up. But again, 2 hours, and then I'm going to add 10 plus 15, which is 25, and then another 10 right here, that's 35, and my 5 is 40. So that's still 2 hours and 40 minutes. Again, you may have done it even a different way. All right, let's try one more together. Draw another just blank open number line. All right, so now let's see here. Our afternoon, I know that we come back from, we go to recess and then we go to lunch. We get back from lunch at 12:10. And then we start packing up to go home at 3:20. So now let's figure out how long our afternoon is. We just figured out our morning. Let's figure out how long our afternoon is. Go ahead and pause the video and see what you can come up with. Okay, now remember, you may have made different jumps than me, and that's okay as long as we get the same answer in the end. All right, I'm at 10 minutes right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump 20 minutes to get me to an easy time. That'll get me to 12:30. Okay, and then I'm going to jump 30 minutes to get to 1 o'clock. And then I'm going to jump, let's see here, I need to get from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So I'm going to jump 2 hours. I think that gets me to 3 o'clock. And then jump 20 more minutes again. All right, I didn't put my M's by my minutes. All right, now I have to add everything up. I see 2 hours right there. Now let me add my minutes. I have 20 plus 30 plus 20. When I add that up, what is that going to give me? 20 plus 30 is 50, plus 20 more is 70. So now it's 2 hours and 70 minutes. But what did we learn about how many minutes are in an hour? There are 60 minutes in an hour. So I'm going to take 60 of those minutes and turn that into another hour, and that will leave me with 10 more minutes. So really, it was 3 hours and 10 minutes for my afternoon. And again, you could have jumped a different way than that. Okay, so boys and girls, what I want you to do is after you stop this video, I want you to go ahead and come up with another 3 different elapsed time situations. Maybe check some movie times and figure out what time a movie starts, what time the movie ends, and then figure out how long the movie was. Maybe figure out what time you started soccer practice, what time you ended soccer practice, and figure out how long your practice was. So kind of come up with a couple of different scenarios or situations where you can do the beginning time, ending time, and you're going to find that time in between. Now this can kind of be a tricky skill for some of us if we really struggle with telling time. And so if you're struggling a little bit and you're out of the class, please let your teacher know when you come back to class that, hey, I was really struggling with that elapsed time, so we can work with you. All right, that is it for lesson 1-6.